You're listening to Cult of the Sacred Runes audio reading. This is Chapter 9. There's no way I could perform a stance before becoming a 7-star student. But then I could refine my stances, or possibly create some. It would be great if I could get a hold of some quenching pills, though, Ye Wei whispered to himself as he closed the door, exiting the small house into the courtyard. Outside Ziyan's place lay a cobblestone path that led straight to the Green Phoenix Hall's front gate. Trees blossomed on both sides of the pathway. They acted as vertical blinds, filtering the sunshine and projecting webs of shadows across the ground. While walking through the patches of light, Ye Wei thought about today's life-altering events. He visited the Mystic Mountain in his dream and obtained a treasure trove of knowledge on runes. Yet, he still remained a 1-star student with his unchanging red sentient. Having enough ki and primal energy to perform a stance, which was the basis of harvesting cosmic energy through refinement or stance creation, required a 7-star cultivation. There was nothing more important than training right now, this moment, for Ye Wei. Cosmic energy could only benefit whoever performed the stance refinement or creation, which would ultimately cleanse and transform his or her sentient. Talent and physique in combat were crucial to one's rapid improvement. In Ye Wei's case, where he lacked both, he would surely need some quenching concoction to quicken his training. Okay, I'll break through to the 2-star level, one step at a time. While walking gracefully on the cobblestone path, Ye Wei fist-pumped and promised to train harder. I'll soon become as strong as my cousin Ye Zong, and become the pride of my family. It was just an impossible dream, but now I know it could become a reality. With all the knowledge in my head, it's absolutely possible. Ye Wei was filled head to toe with positivity and confidence like never before. From 1-star to 2. Body strength should be my main focus. The most direct and simple way to improve my body strength is to nurture it with primal energy. But it's hard and slow for me to absorb primal energy from nature due to my limited talent. I would need at least 6 months to get to 2 stars. But if I can somehow get enough quenching pills, it should only take around 2 weeks for 2 stars. Though Ye Wei was quite determined, the Ye family had limited resources, which were usually spent on more talented family members. He understood the family's practice. If he were the head of the family, he too would distribute the resources all the same. Therefore, he was well aware that getting goods comes up to himself and his connections. When Ye Wei reached the gate of Green Phoenix Hall, the sun was already half sunken under the skyline, painting the sky red. It was already time for students to return to their dormitories. As Ye Wei exited Green Phoenix Hall, more students stared at him again. This time, however, they were Green Phoenix girls who were pointing and gossiping. What is this boy doing at a female hall? Who is that? I've never seen his face before. He doesn't look like he's from Crouching Dragon Hall. Is one of our girls getting another pathetic admirer? There are too many daydreaming romantics in this world. He isn't from Crouching Dragon Hall. What is he doing here? The harsh words did not escape Ye Wei's ears. He raised his eyebrows slightly, but didn't talk back. 3 years of listening to scathing comments and criticism, what he heard now could only be considered mild, and he could dismiss them rather easily. He had learned to be thankful to the critics and bullies who strengthened his mind. Ye Wei, why are you here? Out of the blue was a familiar voice that startled him, and his face went pale in a matter of seconds. Ye Wei unwillingly turned around, casting his eyes toward the source of the voice. He was looking at a teenage girl in a red leather dress and standing in a pair of silver long boots. Her shiny black hair fell over her ears, giving off a young and energetic vibe. Her friends convinced her to talk to Ye Wei. Her name was Zhou Yin, and she was once very close to Ye Wei. I'm waiting for a friend. This visit has nothing to do with you. Ye Wei made up an excuse. He was triggered by her presence, though, and his eye twitched slightly. He took a deep breath and stared at her coldly. You? waiting for a friend. Outside Green Phoenix Hall, Zhou Yin chuckled and looked at Ye Wei with a sarcastic smile, like as if she just heard a good joke. The Zhous and the Ye's were very close, and the two families often invited each other over. Ye Wei and Zhou Yin had known each other since they were toddlers because of this. They were the same age, with Ye Wei being slightly older, however. He always took care of Zhou Yin as if she were his own little sister. They were like two peas in a pod and quite fond of each other. In the entry exam, Ye Wei was told he had a red sentient, and Zhou Yin, green. With that kind of talent, Zhou Yin's cultivation skyrocketed, and she got herself into the intermediate class, while Ye Wei got stuck at 1-star level, sitting in the junior class. Zhou Yin would forever be like a little sister to Ye Wei. Even after reaching 6 stars, getting herself into the intermediate class, and a place to live in Green Phoenix Hall, the mental image of a snot-nosed, crying little sister who was always clinging on to him did not fade. Ye Wei thought Zhou Yin still needed his babysitting. Half a year ago, right before Zhou Yin was about to move to Green Phoenix Hall, Ye Wei enthusiastically went to help her pack. However, he didn't even get a thank you. Dragons don't associate with snakes. For Ye Wei, it wasn't just a rough insult. It was disapproval and betrayal from the person closest to him. Those 5 words were like sharp nails, buried deeply into his heart. That was when Ye Wei realized Zhou Yin grew up and changed. In the real world, you would be despised by everyone, unless you are feared. In Zhou Yin's mind, being associated with Ye Wei was shameful. Even being seen talking to him for a minute would look bad. Ye Wei, right? Stop daydreaming. You and Zhou Yin are literally in different worlds. Zhou Yin is going to break through to 7 stars and will become a warrior in around 2 years at most. How about you? 1 star in 3 years? Now that's a feat. You, waiting for a friend? Can't you read? It reads Green Phoenix Hall on the gate. The elites who live here are all way out of your league. Why don't you look in a mirror and tell me what you see? The girls around Zhou Yin were riding on their high horses, looking down on Ye Wei and giving their all to insult him. Ye Wei was trying his hardest to keep his cool from all this poisonous hatred. His face became paler and paler. His nails dug into his palm, and his clenched fists colored his knuckles white. Ye Wei slowly raised his head while grinding his teeth. His black eyes held a cold aura as they passed over everyone before finally resting upon Zhou Yin. He never wanted anything from Zhou Yin. He only gave and gave selflessly, but never did he think that all he would receive in return was ice-cold mockery. Who was this person who looked like Zhou Yin? People change. You can count on people as much as you can count on putting out a fire with paper. You must only believe in yourself. Only by gaining strength would one receive respect from others, not when you're weak. Ye Wei tried his best to learn something, making what good he could from this mess, and this thought is what he came up with. Ignoring Zhou Yin and all the insults, Ye Wei kept his cool and walked away. Ye Wei, don't come again. We live in different worlds. I couldn't have explained myself any better than that day. Dragons don't associate with snakes. I don't want to be seen with you, Zhou Yin said while staring at Ye Wei's back as he walked away, cutting all ties. Chapter 10. From a certain distance, an elegant and beautiful teenager observed the whole violent exchange. It was Lin Ziyan. Her glossy purple hair was resting on her shoulders, and the white slim-fit dress emphasized her curves in contrast to the thin profile of her body, while her neck and collarbones were gracefully and seductively exposed through the opening of the dress, which was framed by the embellished collar. There was even a stylish purple flower embroidered on the dress, sitting right next to the bulge on her chest. Ziyan saw Ye Wei slowly walking away from the Green Phoenix Hall. She could see from Ye Wei's posture that he felt lonely and frustrated because of what just took place between Zhou Yin and him. That distant look on Ye Wei's face caused a throbbing pain somewhere in Ziyan's heart, but there was not even a hint of rage on his face. Ye Wei always held rage back like a dormant volcano that would never erupt. Lin Ziyan couldn't imagine how much mockery and pressure he had received from his peers and teachers. That, on top of the sadness in his heart due to his poor performance in class, and being a red sentient one-star student who was constantly told he would never be worth anything other than trash, even now, with his newfound soul sensitivity, he still distanced himself from the world because he didn't have enough confidence to stand on his own 2 feet and talk back to people. Like a hedgehog, Ye Wei faced obstacles in the fetal position, passively protecting himself from the world. While looking at the lonely figure of Ye Wei getting smaller and smaller as he walked away, Ziyan imagined the solitude he had experienced for all these years and tried to empathize with him. "Ye Wei, where are you heading off to? Let's go together," Ziyan called out to Ye Wei. With an uplifting smile on her face. She quickly walked towards Ye Wei, with her dress flying in the wind of the summer breeze, causing her to look like an angel that descended from the heavens. Beauty is subjective and relative. Zhou Yin and her friends were good-looking academic achievers. When Ziyan came into sight, it was akin to watching a swan arriving near a flock of ducks. Every time Zhou Yin and her friends saw Ziyan, they would start comparing themselves and become ashamed. When it came to family, wealth, looks, and talent, the gap between them and Ziyan was simply too vast. They didn't even have the courage to socialize with her. They preferred hanging out in their shared dormitories, whereas the private houses were out of their league. Who did Ziyan just talk to? Are my ears deceiving me? Zhou Yin's eyes widened in disbelief as Ziyan walked towards Ye Wei. He came to Green Phoenix Hall for Lin Ziyan? But how did he even know her? They were from 2 different worlds. One was trash that lived on Earth, while the other was a star that was only fit to belong in the heavens themselves. Hearing Ziyan's call, Ye Wei turned around with a startled look on his face. He mumbled softly, Sister Ziyan. He had almost forgotten to drop the miss. "I have to go to the Runemaster Union, and we'll be taking the same way, so let's walk together." Lin Ziyan smiled and said this casually. She looked around, coldly setting her eyes onto Zhou Yin and her friends, and started frowning. "Who are these people?" "Ye Wei, I don't think you should waste your time talking to these nobodies. There's a lot of commoners who are not worthy of our attention at this academy. You should simply ignore them." After processing what Ziyan had just said, the faces of Zhou Yin and her friends had a pale complexion. All of them were bitterly thinking the same thing. Are we really unworthy commoners in her eyes? Like a rock falling onto thin glass, Zhou Yin's conceited nature was instantly shattered by Ziyan's words. In Zhou Yin's head, Ziyan had so many great qualities that she was someone Zhou Yin idolized and wished to be someday. Although Zhou Yin was already a 6-star student, Ziyan was out of her league in status and strength. Zhou Yin could not even understand why her idol, Lin Ziyan, was with trash like Ye Wei and was even supporting him. She ground her teeth. Though she was offended by Lin Ziyan, Zhou Yin did not have the courage to talk back, because she was well aware that if Ziyan said anything, it could be the ruin of the Zhou family. As Ye Wei assessed the situation, he could not resist giving Ziyan a thankful look, having realized she was just getting the girls back for what they had said. "Let's go." Ziyan smiled merrily and casually held Ye Wei's hand. Sensing Ziyan's soft breast on his arm, Ye Wei felt slightly cramped. He stood tall and stopped looking at Zhou Yin as he set off with Ziyan. "How does Miss Ziyan know Ye Wei?" A tall, slim girl was confused and therefore asked a couple of questions after Ye Wei and Ziyan had walked past. They looked really close. Their relationship might not be simple. "I just heard Ye Wei calling Miss Ziyan by her last name," a round-faced girl said in surprise. "If I'm not mistaken, that is Ye Wei, a boy with the red sentient." "How come Miss Ziyan is speaking to him?" the tall girl said after thinking it through. "I have never seen Lin Ziyan this close to a boy. Maybe they are dating." Seeing Ye Wei and Ziyan slowly disappearing in the distance, Zhou Yin's lips started bleeding from extensive biting as she thought about what she said to Ye. Dragons don't associate with snakes, ironically, would be a perfect summation of her situation, and that phrase she had previously spoke made her feel as if someone stabbed her heart with a dagger. Now, Zhou Yin knew she did not know who Ye Wei was anymore. She believed Ye Wei would never talk back to her because he was defenseless and pathetic. But now, Zhou Yin realized he just couldn't be bothered to waste energy talking back to someone unworthy. Lin Ziyan turned and glanced at Zhou Yin and cleared her throat. Ye Wei has the sharpest soul sensitivity I have ever seen. I am 100% certain he can become a rune master. Just like that, Ziyan kept holding on to Ye Wei's arm, and together they exited Green Phoenix Hall, stepping onto the gravel trail, leaving the speechless Zhou Yin and her friends behind. The sun had now set, and it is rush hour in Green Moon City, and the path was packed full of people. After making sure they were out of Zhou Yin's sight, Ziyan let go of Ye Wei's arm, and she blushed a little bit in an adorable way. Ziyan, thanks. Ye Wei looked at the beauty in front of him and said sincerely. Of course, Ye Wei wouldn't assume that Miss Ziyan fancies him. He is clear that arm-holding stunt was just an act to build up his image and gain respect from the girls, an act to help him. After going through so much, Ye Wei started to have feelings and affection for Lin Ziyan, as a brilliant and kind girl is irresistible to most boys after all. But now, Ye Wei knew that Ziyan and him would never work, and therefore stopped thinking too much about it. Don't mention it. I told you, you're like my little brother now. Lin Ziyan smiled playfully, looking at Ye Wei's well-proportioned face, and remembering the moment when he perfected the triple title palm. She was still a bit shocked. Ye Wei's eyes were set on Ziyan's charming looks, spacing out. Neither of them talked, and the atmosphere became a little ambiguous and awkward. Oh yeah, Ye Wei, I have some Fiery Sun Quencher pills here. Take them and put them to good use. Lin Ziyan took out a jade bottle from her pocket and passed it to Ye Wei. Giving him these pills was one of the reasons she went to catch up to Ye Wei at the gate. Fiery Sun Quencher pills? Ye Wei was startled. There are a wide variety of quenching pills, and Fiery Sun Quencher was amongst the most effective and valuable pills that could be concocted. In the Ye family, only Wei's cousin Ye Zong was deemed worthy enough to get a few Fiery Sun pills. Ye Wei stopped spacing out and started panicking a little. Miss Ziyan, this is too valuable. I can't take this. You deserve it. You perfected triple title palm with me and helped me become a warrior. Do you really think that is worth less than a few Fiery Sun Quencher pills? Lin Ziyan played along, pretending to be serious when she said it. And that's going to bring us to an end tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed these 2 chapters. Tomorrow we'll be on chapter 11, and hopefully we can maybe read 4 or 5 chapters. I'll try to schedule some more time for this. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy it. Leave any comments down below. Make some predictions if you'd like. And yeah, if you're enjoying the story, just let me know. I will see you guys tomorrow. Later.